Hi everyone! I completely forgot to introduce myself. My name's Miranda and I've been vegan for 10 years. Welcome to a workout. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a glute day. It's a light, just kind of a glute pump day. I'm going to do 4 different exercises and I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to do 2 supersets. So the first 2 exercises I'm going to do back to back. And then the second 2 glute exercises, again, I'm going to do back to back. Of course, when we hit glutes, we always get a little bit of hamstrings and quads. So I'm really going to try paying attention to my form as well as my tempo, so the speed at which I'm doing the exercise. And the whole idea of today's workout is to do lighter weight, higher reps, and to kind of practice like the mind-muscle connection. I don't always do lighter glute workouts. I've just this past month, since I'm doing a little bit of a deload, I have one heavy glute day during the week, I have kind of a medium glute day, and then I have this lighter glute day. So I hope you enjoy. My first superset is a combination of dumbbell hip thrusts and then good mornings on the Smith machine. So here I'm just starting with a dumbbell. I believe this one is 75 pounds. And I'm paying attention to both the eccentric motion, the way down, as well as the concentric motion on the way back up. I'm making sure to squeeze at the top. I'm driving my heels into the ground and my knees are at a 90-degree angle. And here I was actually trying something new. I wanted to see if I could really isolate each glute. This was so interesting because I definitely was paying much more attention to my balance. Something else that I was also trying out during this portion of my superset was doing a scoop movement rather than a hinge movement. Usually when I go very heavy with hip thrusts, I find my back is most supported with a hinge movement. The difference is when you hinge, your torso and hips move together. And this is me jumping into the second part of the superset. Okay, maybe I'm not quite jumping into it. I always need a few moments just to catch my breath. Good mornings are a relatively new exercise that I've started incorporating to my workout routine, and I'm absolutely loving them. They're just feeling really good for my body at the moment. Quite a few people actually have come up to me and asked me about good mornings since I started doing them more frequently. And what I noticed is they're an exercise that requires a lot of trial and error. So you just have to figure out what feels good for you. I believe I mentioned this in my first video, but I noticed that I have a slight preference to do good mornings with an angled Smith machine. Okay, so this was part of my last set. As you can see, I'm dropping the weight. I also haven't mentioned that I'm doing a lot of sets per exercise. I'm working well within a rep range of 15 to 25 reps per set. And then I moved on to my second superset, which consisted of abductors and an isolated leg press. So with this specific machine, I noticed that to feel my abductors at this angle, I need to lean very far forward. I definitely could have put my arms slightly higher, which is something I did in different sets. I also changed the weight here. This angle used to give me a lot of difficulty, and it's just taken some time to get used to, but I can appreciate it, especially as a second abduction movement. And then it was off to isolated leg press. Okay, it wasn't that far away. So the key with this movement is that I don't go super heavy. I think on my last set, I only went up to 110 pounds. I always try to get as much of a stretch as possible. Remember that you're working the glutes the most at the bottom position, and then the further up or the further back you go, your quads start to ask for more attention. I did 4 working sets of this second superset. Also, really important, this is super sped up. I can't actually imagine working out at this speed. And there you have it. Let me know what you think. If any of you have any questions, if you've made it to the end of this video again, thank you so much. Do you like these exercise videos? Should I make more of them? Let me know. See you next time.